are back for more Twin Cities Film Fest red carpet coverage here at the 2016 edition. It's our 7th annual. I'm your host tonight, Doug Sidney. The reason I mention this is our 7th annual because we have a producer here who is holding a record here at the Twin Cities Film Fest. He is representing 3, 4, 5, and 6 of his 6 films that he produced that have screened here at the 2016 Twin Cities Film Fest. He had 2 back in
2014.
In 2014. Producer Seth Caplan, thank you so much for being here. You're a record holder. You have 4 films here. Talk to us about the films. Give us a tagline for each one quickly. I know you've done the festival circuit and you've done a lot of interviews. So describe your films. Villisca. The girl.
Let me handle it.
Yes,
let me handle it. Let me,
yes,
Doug. Let me
you do
handle
better
it.
than I
Doug's done a lot of work. It's pretty amazing. I was gonna quiz him, but I'm not going to. Huge honor to be here. I've actually 2 years ago I missed out on the festival, and I got many great reports. A director and actress came, Haley Lou Richardson, and this year I made it a point to be here. It's my first time ever in Minnesota and in the Twin Cities. I'm a Midwestern native, having grown up in Chicago, so it's actually really cool to be here. This year I have 4 films here. The first is Follow, and it's the story of a young couple's dangerous bedroom games. It's a horror thriller. It's available now on iTunes. Look for it. Follow, just like I said it.
Plug all of them too.
You can buy it. We had 2 great screenings earlier this week. On last weekend, I had a wonderful movie called First Girl I Love, which was a Sundance winner earlier this year. It's the story of 2 lesbian Latina teenagers who are so in the closet, they're afraid to come out to each other. A truly beautiful film that also is available on iTunes, so I hope everyone who didn't get a chance to see it in the theaters will buy it online. In addition, I have a horror film here called Villisca. And that is, it's 3 teenage kids breaking into a haunted house. And it's really, really scary. The film's going to be in theaters in January of 2017. And finally, tonight, we're doing the Minnesota premiere of The Loner. And that's a super cool, gritty crime film about the intersection of the Persian and Russian mafia in Los Angeles.
Okay, so I'm really glad that you're LA-based because if you weren't, I'd be out of a job. Because that was awesome. Well, because you'd be back here for future film fests.
Okay.
That was amazing. So talk to us about, how did you get into producing?
Sure. I can even hold this. Oh, sure. Yeah, I've always wanted to be a filmmaker. I mean, ever since high school. And so, when you're a student filmmaker, you do everything, right? You go and you do the camera work, you do editing, you do directing. And I'll tell you, the details of producing, from the logistics of how are we going to shoot this, to the casting of a film, and most importantly, to how we're going to entertain the audience. The themes of a film is something that always appealed to me. And so as I tried each different role in the filmmaking process, producing is what I always came back to.
So trial by fire and trial by success, and it's producing is the thing for you.
I love trial by success. That's a great term. I love it.
It's so true. So talk to us about this run that you've been on. So 4 of them are here. You must be working constantly the last 2-3 years. Films, there's a time span between production and when films can be released. You've been on a tear. What's that been like?
I'm really tired. My wife and I had our 2nd child in April this year, so it's been a little nuts, but it's in the independent film world, the reality is 2 of the films that are here, I was trying to get made for 5 years. So when the money and the cast and the time has come, you don't wait, you jump and you make it. And so 2015 was one of those years where serendipity. Had 3 projects come together. I mean, I was on set for over 75 days of production. It was a very busy year, but you're waiting so long and you feel so passionate about making these stories come to life. When you have the opportunity, you got to jump and do it.
So perseverance is a value you've embraced.
Oh, you have indie producer. Oh, yeah.
So let me ask you this: the variety of films that you've been a part of. Do you have a favorite genre or 2?
I don't know. I mean, look, for me, I always love stories about underdogs. That's just something I always appeal to. That's something that I'll watch over and over again. I really like quirky comedies, stuff that makes me laugh. But I mean, in terms of making films, I really like making a variety. I mean, I got a chance to make a musical a few years ago. That was a blast. It was a kind of I learned new things about the process of filmmaking by doing that. I got a chance to make a documentary. I love making documentary films too. So I mean, you kind of got to separate it as a filmmaker versus a film watcher.
You haven't been able to be here in previous years. The previous year that you had 2 films here, you're here for the first time. I know you've been on the festival circuit. What's it been like being a part of the Twin Cities Film Fest?
Oh, it's been awesome. I mean, okay, let me tell you about my day today, because it was really cool. So everyone probably watching this knows what a Juicy Lucy is. I did not know. I did not know. So I went into this little dive bar, sat at the counter, cash only, had this burger, like humongous burger placed before me. Waitress warns me. She's like, the cheese is really hot inside. I burnt my finger. Totally worth it. Totally and completely worth it. One of the most delicious cheeseburgers in my life. Rented a biked all the way around Lake Calhoun, I believe, and Lake of the Isles. And so just had a really marvelous day. And then the films that are here are great. I mean, it's amazing to see. I know there's Moonlight's playing tomorrow night. You got Burn Country, which has Dominic Raines, who's in a film of ours, and I missed that film at some previous festivals, so I'm really excited to see that as well. So it's really cool to see like such a great lineup of films. And I'll tell you, for my own films, it's been great. This theater is wonderful. Our film looked amazing.
Great plug for the Showplace Icon Theater. Absolutely, it's a great venue for us. And yes, your 4 films fit so nicely into our programming. That's why they're here. That's why you're here. We can't wish you more but continued success in a very selfish reason, because we want you back here again to continue working on your record. Yes. Seth Caplan, thank you so much for being here. We're going to have more Twin Cities Film Fest red carpet coverage. 4 films. I'm still in awe. We'll be back.